SUBMOTO here. So guess what? I did it! My last video I talked about what kind of bike I wanted and what would be reasonable to get. One thing is what I want to get whenever I have a lot of money. I think I want a Triumph Bonneville or Thruxton and then build it up. But those bikes are like $20,000-$30,000 in this place anyway. Yeah, maybe you might be able to get one used cheaper, but they're like hard to come by anyway. So and I don't know if you remember, but I said that Mrs. SUBMOTO was getting her motorcycle license soon. So what she did is she bought little Lucy. So this is officially her bike. I'm still riding it because I don't want it to stand still, and since she doesn't have her license yet, I'm riding it. And so it's still in the family, you can call it that. But the thing is, I fell in love with this bike. I really, really, really love the SR500. It is such a cool bike. And I figured, now that I had some monies from the sale, I went out and bought the same bike, a Yamaha SR, but a 500. Yamaha SR500 from 1981. That's what I decided on. Why? Well, because yeah, it doesn't have as much horsepower and blah 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 and all this stuff, you know. But for that amount of money, when you're down at like older used bike prices, it's a whole different ball game. When I talk about, you know, I want a powerful, reliable, this and that motorcycle, I'm talking about, you know, whenever I have money and when they pay a lot of money, that's what you expect. But from a used bike point of view, the SR500, first of all, we have a giant network. A whole bunch of guys I know have an SR500, so there's a lot of people I can ask if something goes wrong and this and that. That, and the most important thing is like I said earlier in another video, is finding a good mechanic. And guess what? There is an SR500 expert just around the corner, and they all use them. And the guy's awesome. He's not lazy. And I figured, hey, you know, it just makes sense in so many ways. Anyway, enough chit chat about that. Let me show you what I got. So this is the bike. This is my new SR500 from 1981. And I know what you're thinking, but SUBMOTO, it's already a cafe tracker drag thing. Why would you want to change it? Because I think it's a project that could have gone better. Let's just say that. Great guy that had it, had a lot of good thoughts, but the bike that he ended up building wasn't really what I was looking for. But the cool thing about this bike is that he's already done a lot of work for me. There's a lot of stuff I'm not going to keep, you know. But in essence, it's a bike that runs well, and he's already he made these fenders that are really nice, rear and front. I'm not sure about the rear. I'm probably gonna have to shorten that. He already made a loop, which is really well done, actually. Unfortunately, I think I'm gonna end up cutting it and making it shorter. I'm not sure yet, but I think that's what I'm gonna do, because it's just a little bit long. As you can tell from back here, it's like it just goes just a bit too far. I'm not quite sure though. It really depends on the seat. And I'm not sure if I want to do a tracker or a cafe racer on this. I have a few ideas, and here's my my idea for the like if I do a cafe racer with a cowl on the seat. I'm not sure about the color yet, so don't mind that. But you know, that's one way of going. Another way of doing it is just doing it like this, sort of, with classic cafe racer look, which looks a lot like the bike I have already, and I think there's a bike out there already that kind of has that look, so I'm not sure about that. The tracker look, it's always a hit. The thing is, I love my SR250, which is a tracker, and the way you sit, and just everything about it is awesome. So I might want to do that. I just like the look of a Café Racer better than I like a tracker. I like riding a tracker more than I like riding a Café, so I don't know. But there's a few things wrong with this. This drag bar, that's what it's called. It's not a Café Racer bar, and it's not a tracker bar or a scrambler bar. It's a drag bar, and I'm not sure. You know, first I saw, I'm like, well, I could keep that. But, you know, I think what I'm going to do, I'm going to put on some clip-ons if I do the Café thing, that are going to go like up to here instead, and that way I'm like more flexible with it. It's got a really good speedo on it, Daytona. It's got these Daytona blinkers. Those are pretty cool, so I'm going to keep those. The tires are not something I'm going to keep. I know they look good and they have a wonderful size. He butched them up really nicely. And these are Firestone Deluxe tires, and these tires are extremely popular. People love them for their looks. They ride horribly. They're really, really bad. And since I ride during the winter as well, I need something that has some grip. It looks awesome, it does, but definitely not something I wanna keep. So I might sell them. And you know, people who buy them, they know that it's a bad tire, but they buy them anyway for the looks. It's like the pod video I made. You know, people put pods on their carburetors, and they do it for the looks, and the performance is rarely any better after putting pods on. Usually they get worse, but they prefer to ride with pods. So you don't ride with bad tires, ride with pods and a bad mixture, but you look cool. So, you know, whatever. And some people have been lucky with pods. 9 times out of 10, it's a stupid idea to have pods. In this case, this guy didn't even rejet his carburetor. He just put a pod on there and a new exhaust, and he didn't even rejet the carburetor. Obviously it runs kind of funky. Actually, it runs surprisingly well, taking into account that he hasn't done anything, but anyway. So yeah, so there's a lot of stuff, you know, there's dents on there, and this needs redoing completely, and you know, I'm gonna paint the tank anyway, so I might as well fix those. But you know, there's really, I mean, there's some stuff to do. I mean, what I'm going to do is obviously keep the fender, change the tires, put another headlight on there, keep the speedo, put a tracker bar or clip-ons on. I might keep this mirror. If not, I'll find something else. Paint the tank, fix the cap up, mount some side panels on there, some cool side panels that actually came with the bike. Those are going to be painted, and I'm going to put the SR logo on there. I'm going to get a different carburetor, going to jet the carburetor, and I'm going to have the whole carburetors like the Racer setup. Since I have an expert mechanic that's going to be able to help me with that, we're going to get flow through the engine and just pump that up. I'll give it a chance. I'll give him a chance. Eventually I might change the pipe. This pipe is pretty rusty. I'm going to put a different exhaust on there, because as much as the pea shooter looks cool, I'm not really for that style, so I want a Megaton muffler, just like I have on my SR500. Different shocks. I want bigger shocks. These are too soft for me. I like a sturdy bike. Probably a different battery or battery eliminator, which you can do if you have a Kickstarter. You can put a battery eliminator on there, and what that does, it's just like a little cylinder instead of a battery, which means you have 0 power until you kick it. When you kick it, it generates power, and the eliminator will keep enough electricity in the on the motorcycle to you know, blink and all of that. Problem with that is that the speedo on here is digital, so if I change the battery, or if I put an eliminator on there, the time and the trip computer will go to 0 every time I switch off the bike, so that's not going to work probably. But if not, you know, there's some really small batteries, and you definitely do not need such a big battery on a kickstart bike. The chain guard, that's going to go. Eventually, and hopefully soon, I'd want to paint the engine. I want to paint it black, and then I want to like polish the ends so it has like, you know, white like this. Here's a picture of it. That's kind of what I want it to look like. And it's gonna end up looking cool. Rear, this look, it's all taped up with like tape, and it's just like broken. So there's a bunch of stuff, but anyway, first things first. Before you even think about cosmetics, you want your bike to work, to function properly, and you want it to get through inspection. But there are a few things on this bike that need doing. The first thing I noticed was that the rear swing, or the rear wheel, the swing arm right here, is kind of loose. So it's just worn, and you can see there when I move the rear tire, you can kind of see the swing arm moving, and so that needs fixing. I'm going to go ahead and do that right away, right now, and then we're going to fix that up and make sure that that's in order. We're going to do a valve adjustment. We're going to do a compression test and make sure that the engine is running as well as it can. And when that's done, we'll get to the cosmetics. So yep, I'll get to it. Gonna take off the swing arm, and it'll take a few. It might even take a few months to get through this, because I'm not the richest guy in the world. I'm a poor, starving musician, as you all know. But I'll keep you updated, and we'll do some. We'll do like a series, and every now and then I'll show you how far I've gotten with this bike. And I might even hit you up for some advice, like if you guys have any pointers on what you'd like to see, or if I need help with something, I'll probably shoot it out there.
So, do you really want to try? Do you really want to try? Do you really want to lose control? It's nothing. It's nothing. It's nothing. You make me want to fly, make me want to go home. It's nothing. It's nothing. It's nothing. You make me want to fly, make me want to go home. It's nothing. It's nothing. It's nothing. You make me want to fly, make me want to go home.
Success! So anyway, how's it? First step. I gotta love this shit. So remember to subscribe and ride. And I'll catch you all in the next installment. Bye-bye. Look at my fingers.